All right, welcome to lesson number 1 in OnShape for beginners. By now you should have gotten your account, and that will take you to this home page right here that you can see. So for today, we're going to learn how to navigate around the home page, what your build environment looks like, how to make a sketch so you can actually make things, and then we're going to make a name tag so you can actually apply the things that we're learning here. So from your home screen here, if you want to make a document, you click this blue Create button. It's going to drop down and you click Document. You can name it. I'm going to name it Name Tag, since that's what we're making today. And then once this loads, you can see this is our build environment. All of our tools are at the top. This is called our toolbar. And then we have these 3 planes to work with. Basically, we build off of these 3 planes. You can think of them as sheets of paper where we make a sketch, and then we use that sketch along with these tools to actually make a part. I'll show you what I mean by that. So, if we're going to be making a name tag here, we first need to make the base, the background. I'm going to click on this top plane, or you can think of it again like a sheet of paper. Click on it. I'm going to make a sketch on that top plane. So I'm going to click Sketch here, and then I want to look directly at it because it's way easier to model that way. So I'm going to type N into the keyboard, and that'll make me look directly at my top plane. Now we have a different set of tools in the toolbar up here. We'll eventually go through all these, but all we're going to use for this one is this corner rectangle right here. So I'm going to click, and I'm going to click on this center point right here. When it highlights orange like that, it means I am what's called snapped to that center point, which means if I click there, I will click exactly the center point. I won't accidentally click to the side of it or anything like that. I'll be exactly where I want to be. So I click once, don't hold down, drag over, and click again. I'm going to make this side 80 millimeters. I'm going to make the other side 25 millimeters, just so I can show you that we can change these if we want to very easily. So I'm currently still in my corner rectangle tool because it's highlighted blue. So to get out of that, I'm going to click Escape. And then I want to change these dimensions. These are called dimensions in CAD because they say how the size of the different things in your sketch. So I'm going to click this dimension tool right here. It'll highlight blue, which means it's activated. And then I'll double click whichever dimension I want to change. So I want to change this to 20. So all I have to do is double click, type in 20, hit enter, and now I have 20 millimeters tall. That's all I need for this sketch. So to end your sketch, you click the green check mark, and then you can see we have a sketch on that top plane. In order to orbit like this, you just middle click on your roller wheel on your mouse. So middle click and you can orbit around your part. You can see my sketch is just on that top plane. It doesn't have any thickness to it yet, so I'm going to add some thickness to it by using this extrude tool. So that's this up here. I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to click on my sketch, and it's going to extrude it out 25 millimeters, as you can see right here. That's the default. Obviously, I do not want it 25 millimeters tall if this is just going to be a name tag. I can change how tall it is by dragging this arrow one way or the other, just to kind of get a feel for how tall it is, and then when I want a precise height, I can plug it in right here. So I'm going to say 2 millimeters, because that's as tall as I want the base of my name tag to be. So once that's done, I can hit enter or the green check mark, and then I have my first actual solid in this 3D model. Next, I want to add my name to this. So I need to make another sketch. Once you have a part like this though, you can click on any face you want. So this face, or this face, or this face, to make another sketch. It doesn't have to be in a plane every single time. So I'm going to click on this front face, and I'm going to click Sketch, so I make another sketch, and I'm going to type N, so I'm looking directly at it. And then, again, we have this toolbar up here. I'm going to use the Text tool, and to use this, you draw a box just like we did with the corner rectangle here, because we're drawing our text box. So click, drag, without holding down, and click again. Now I'm going to type in my name. I'm going to go all caps because that looks better. And green check mark. And then you can see there's my name. If you want to, and again, you can zoom in and out just with your rolly wheel again. If you want to change the height of this or the location, pretty easy to do that. To move it around, you just grab one of your corners. Doesn't really matter which one. I always go bottom left. And you can drag this around wherever you want it to be on your base plate. Then you let go, and that's where it'll be. If you want to change the height or the size of your text, then you use your dimension tool again, and you can either dimension this top side, well, any side you want really, top side or actual right or left side. So I usually go on the right side, click the line you want, drag out, and click again. And I'm gonna make this 13 millimeters tall. And once again, if you want to change that, just hover over it, it'll highlight orange, double click, you can change it to anything you want. I'm gonna stay at 13 millimeters though. Now, obviously this is not centered on my base plate. I wanna have it centered. So I know that the height of my base plate is 20 millimeters. We did that in the last step. So if this is 13 millimeters tall, 20 minus 13 is 7. So I'm gonna have that divided by 2 on either side of my name, so 3.5. So I'm still in my dimension tool, it's still highlighted blue. I'm gonna click that bottom edge and click the edge I want to dimension to. And right now you can see I'm at about 6.465 millimeters off the bottom. I'm gonna change that to be 3.5 millimeters. And now I'm perfectly centered on my nameplate, base plate, sorry. Next, I think I will choose how far away I want it from this edge. So still in my dimension tool. It won't work if I'm not in my dimension tool. I can't dimension anything. So I'm gonna click escape, click out here so I get, so I'm no longer selecting anything. Pick my dimension tool, select my edge and my other edge, and click right there. Let's make that 6 millimeters. Now, I know I want it to be 6 millimeters because I want the hole for my keychain to go right about here, and I don't want it super far away from my name. But you can see I've got this extra space over here. I can still change that, just not in this sketch. So we'll get to that. First, we're gonna extrude the name. So I'm done with this sketch. I have my name where I want it. I'm gonna click the green check mark to say I'm done with the sketch. I'm going to click extrude, just like last time, so I can thicken that 2D sketch. And you can click on each one of the letters if you want, or you can just click on the sketch and it'll extrude the entire thing. Once again, default is 25 millimeters, and I don't want a name tag that looks like this, so I'm gonna change that to be 2 millimeters as well. Actually, let's make that 1 millimeter. I think that might look even better. I'm gonna go green check mark because I'm done with that extrusion. And now, like I said, I don't love how much extra space I have on this side. So I can go back in what's called my model tree. So these are all the things you've made so far. It's called the model tree. And you can adjust anything at any point. So this base plate is extrude 1, as we know, and it was based off of sketch 1. So I'm gonna edit sketch 1 by double clicking it. Click N so I'm looking directly at it. And then I'm gonna change this 80 to 60 by double clicking on it and then typing in 60. So now green check mark for the sketch because that's done. And now that looks like a much better centered name on that nameplate. And then, as I was saying, this is in the model tree we can see all of the things we've made so far. I can also change the names of these so that I can keep better track of what's been made. So, as I said, extrude 1 is my base plate, so I can right click rename, and rename it base plate. So I know that that's what that is. And I could rename this one to be name. So I know that's what that extrusion is. Next, I'm gonna cut a hole for my keychain. So I'm gonna click the face I wanna cut a hole through, make another sketch. As you can tell, everything's based on sketches. Type N, so I'm looking directly at it. And then I'm gonna use the circle tool. And it doesn't really matter where you click as long as it's not on an edge, because you don't want to snap to an edge. That causes a lot of headaches later if it's not what you wanted. So click, drag without holding down, and click again. And then you can type in the size you actually want. I want this to be 6 millimeters. Looks a little too big. So I'm gonna change that to 5. I can't double click it right now though because I'm still in the circle tool. So I'm gonna click my dimension tool and and double click 6 to change that to 5 millimeters. And I want this to be centered top to bottom on my name tag. So still in the dimension tool, I'm going to click the middle or center point right there, click the edge I want to dimension to. Again, we're 20 millimeters tall, so I'm going to do that divided by 2. It's 10 millimeters. And then I'm going to dimension it to the edge as well. Let's make that 5 millimeters. I like that. And again, done with this sketch. Super simple. Click the green check mark and extrude. But this time, instead of adding material, so click my sketch, instead of adding material, like it automatically wants to do, I want to cut a hole out. You can use extrude for that as well. So instead of add, all you gotta do is click remove, and then it will cut a hole instead of adding material. Green check mark, done, and we have a hole. Now, the next thing I wanna do is round off these edges, because I don't love the super sharp edges. I think it just doesn't look very refined. So we can use, in this toolbar, a tool called fillet, which will automatically round out all the corners for you. You don't have to make a sketch and extrude cutting corners in. So once I'm in the fillet tool, like I was saying, we click any edge that we want to round out, and it will automatically round it out. So I'm going to get all 4 of my edges here, and I'm going to navigate just by zooming in and out and using my middle mouse button click to orbit around my part. And last edge right there. And then just like extrude, I can change the values of this feature. So right now we're at 5 millimeters. Let's see what 10 would look like. I think that'd make it an oval. Yep. And I like 5 though. So let's go back to 5 and we'll leave that be. Green check mark, and the fillet's done. The last thing we want to do is add a border onto this name tag. So we're going to make another sketch. So click the face we want to extrude material out of, and click sketch, and type N, so I'm looking right at it. And here in this toolbar, we're going to use a really useful tool called offset. That's this right here. This tool, you can click any edge or line that you want, and it will offset another line any distance that you say from that. And it will link multiple together. So if I click all of these, it will link all of these together. And right now you can see it looks like a box because I'm just that far away. But if I drag this arrow a little bit, you can see that it's bringing this radius in as well. So I want it to be 2 millimeters. I don't have to drag it to be exactly 2 millimeters because I can just click enter, and then it will allow me to change how much I'm offset by. I'm going to go 2 millimeters like I was saying, and green check mark. Now last thing to do is extrude that out. So again, click extrude, click on that sketch right there, and it will extrude it out. And again, it will extrude at 25 millimeters. I only want it 1 millimeter because that's the height of the name. Green check mark. And there we have it. There's a name tag. If you want to share it with someone who has a 3D printer so they can 3D print it, click the blue share button and then type their email into here and click share. And that's it. If you want to export it because you already have a 3D printer and you want to print it yourself, right click the part studio that you're in right now, click export, and then you're either going to want to export it as a step or an STL. Those are the most common file types used for 3D printing. If you already have a printer, you probably know that. So I would go step, click export, and then the file will pop up over here and I can download it. There we go. All right, that's it. Today we learned how to navigate around the build environment, how to make a sketch, and how to do extrusions. So next time we're going to learn to make a sketch based off of an image so that we can make cookie cutters.